Alright, it's a Friday, so pretty much nobody's working in the shop, but we've got a number of routers just to show the way this works. What's going on? So on screen they can see the pattern. Just gonna jump to a different one. This is what's gonna end up getting cut. You can see he's positioning that. Making a little video showing how this works. So, hey, real quick, how do you know what to cut next?
Basically, first I go on the screen there and try to do a refresh.
Do me a favor, can you go back?
Go back.
Yeah.
And then open.
Oh yeah, sure, if you want to leave that one open, that's fine. Yeah, I get it. So you go here, and you just pretty much go in order?
Well, not necessarily. It's basically what Tony, or the guy drives the truck.
Oh, he brings in the materials in the order,
he brings a lot. I mean, then in between, like, well, if we need to fill it in, I'll just do whatever.
Okay. Alright, so then you can go back over to your other screen.
Okay.
I'll get a video of you sending that.
Alright, so this is it's a manual one, so I want it automatic, so I gotta.
Yeah. Just a recut or something?
No, it's just that he did one item.
Oh, okay. Alright. Cut it out of an off-ball. So this is a piece of off-ball. You can see here, the off-ball was actually barcoded in inventory, and then the system brought it up. So the parts, when they're done, they come off. You got those labels.
Yeah, that works pretty good.
They just push the button to print the labels on the screen. Yeah, you go ahead. See the labels show edge banding. This edge right here needs edge banded. Show where it is on the nest, so you know which part it was. All right, and this is labeled and inventoried off ball. You see these numbers, they're writing the numbers on the edge so that they can see them, but there is a sticker on the face. From there the parts come over to our edge banders. We have two. You can see we're a shop that doesn't do one-piece flow. At the edge banding station, this is our screensaver. To the top left it shows a bottleneck. Top right, it just gives some metrics for the month, and that's the only one we have showing here in Emmitsburg. You can see the whole bottom half, except for the lower right corner, is it picks a random work order, and it gives the notes. This is material requirements. This one doesn't have any. It just starts kind of showing the drawings. Kind of cool, lets people see what's coming their way. It does pick a work order that's for the facility that the login is set to, and then it shows kind of a message of the day again for the facility that it's set to. And I happen to have just logged into these, so that's Des Moines information, even though we're in Emmitsburg. We don't scan the parts as we band them, but some places do. Instead, we just mark it as done, and it marks all of the parts as completed. Drawer parts come over to our drawer assembly area. And what ends up happening is the operator logs into the completion screen that we're talking about, only they log in for drawer boxes. Let me log in since we don't have anybody here. They just sit on this same screen all day though. Oops. Now we have to see if I remember how to do this. Nope. Assembly. Complete drawer boxes. Okay.
Ready.
And you hear it said something. It spoke. There's a checkbox for print labels and a checkbox for print picture. And it says scan a barcode for a drawer box. So I'm gonna find a gun here. I'm just gonna scan, not that one because it's tore off. Any part from any drawer box will do the trick. That's not a drawer box part. That would be though. Alright, so it said the word scan out loud. And it said new task. We call them tasks, not work orders. And it's asking me, it says you're not currently logged into this. Do you want to switch your time to it? I'm going to say no because I don't track time. But you'll see it change the title above. And now it asks me, do you want to complete the first scanned item? And the answer is no. I just scanned that because I want to bring up the whole task to look at its information. Alright. So, oops, sorry. I hovered over the little bring up the desktop thing. You can see that some metrics here. There are 0 completed on this, 7 total, 7 remaining. Over here is a list of all of the drawer boxes required, and they are grouped right now by what cabinet they go to. If that makes sense. And if I were to scan one completed, which I'm going to go ahead and do.
Scan. Okay.
Now it speaks because sometimes you're a long way away from the computer to see the feedback. So I should have done this. It spit out a label, and this is a drawer box label. The nice thing is, and they end up putting this on the front of the drawer box, so that when they're actually assembling a cabinet and they know they need the drawer boxes for 1-1, they just come grab all the ones that say 1-1, if that makes sense. 1A is actually which drawer box it is. It matches up with the drawer front and the production documentation. And you can see now that the last thing scanned has this teal background color, but also it changed to a green color. I'm gonna go ahead and well, we'll just leave it. They'll be confused. But you can see lower left here we have this list of of items that have been scanned. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. The nice thing about these drawer box labels too is there is a way to print them for the whole work order. And then, so if you're buying out drawer boxes, somebody can go through and label them so they know which ones go with which cabinets. Some places just go by size. But what ends up happening when you just go by size is, things that are unique to that cabinet, they get missed. You have one drawer box that has a scoop or some special thing, that'll get missed every time. So our doors, our fronts come over here for cleanup. Cleanup usually consists of, cleaning up some edges, some glue, putting in the hardware. So they do something similar. I'm gonna log in. Again, there's nobody here. They just simply access this shop access screen. And we go assembly, complete doors. Alright. And I'm gonna scan this door right here. Alright, so again, it's warning me that I'm not currently tracking time to this. Asking if I want to. The answer is no. Same question as before. Is this just scanned so to load, or is this you want to actually complete that one? So we're just going to load it. Alright, so we can look here and we can see that there are 15 completed doors, 32 total, so there's 17 remaining. They're not printing any labels here, but they could. They're not taking any pictures here, but they could. We can see at a glance which ones are done. It's because of the coloring. Okay. And we've got 4 door stations. See. Alright, so once the doors are done, the drawer boxes are done, we come over to the actual cabinet assembly area. And this is kind of a mess for us right now. We have a lot of stuff going because we're working quite far ahead. We are absolutely screwed this month as far as getting all of the amount of cabinets we have. So they've been working so far ahead that we currently have stuff stored just everywhere. All right, so they've got kind of a hardware station here where they create a kit and they go ahead and install any hardware that needs to be installed. Goes into a case clamp. Right here at this workstation, they do what we call pre-completion or begun completion. This is actually a touch screen, that's why it's got kind of a blur to it when I record it. Oops. Okay. So again, they just stay logged into this all day. Pre-assembly. Alright, and so there's a little pop-up just so that nobody's confused and uses it for the wrong thing. Alright, it's basically the same, only it has a few more options. One of the things we can do is we can group by readiness, whether the cabinet's done or not. We can check for doors, and then as far as readiness goes, we tell it which things we're looking to. Readiness automatically includes all the parts are cut. So I'm just going to scan one, any part. I can scan the work order documentation sheet that comes out. Although we don't print them here, but we do in Des Moines. So same question as always, not tracking time. The answer is no. Just load the task. All right, so this is what's involved here. We've got 6 completed, 29 total, so 23 remaining. I can see which ones they are. You see that we are grouping by readiness, so everything up here that doesn't say anything is ready. This one here is not ready, and it tells you why. It's because doors are not complete and drawers are not complete. And of course I can always right click into one of these and drill into it. Okay. And I can see the CNC parts. That makes sense. So there's one drawer box and one door face. Okay. We don't do check for edge banding completed, I said, because we don't actually scan individual parts. But you'll see it's grouped. I could group by elevation to make sure that I'm sending out, completed cabinets. Does that make sense? Or completed elevations. Sorry. I can do some other things. I can open up the drawings from here. I can add notes to these things. I can see the bill of materials for an item, which comes from engineering software. Alright. So on this side, this is after they've been, the box is put together, they install the doors, drawers, do any, here's something funky, so it's got some special hardware in it, type stuff. As things make their way to the end here, they land at the shrink wrapping station. And we have another computer, and I'm not going to bother with it, but this computer has a webcam pointed at the wrapping area, and so it has the take picture turned on. It prints out another label. So the labels are different in my system. The first label, let's see if I can find a good example. There we go. First label includes construction information. So it includes what hardware is required, what the drawer boxes are, etc. Because our guys use that versus having printed documentation. That way the label is the documentation. The second label is different. It just includes notes that were put onto it. So we might have a note that says installer, make sure to do X or Y or Z, that kind of thing. So what ends up happening is, I guess they're putting the final one on the outside, but they end up sticking the first label on that printed while the box was in the case clamp. They put that on the back of the cabinet usually, and then they'll put the second one, I guess they've decided to put it on the side, or maybe they've decided to do side and top now. But the nice thing is, that way no matter which way you pick this up from, you have a good chance of seeing the label, because the label tells them at the job site what room to take this to. Otherwise they would have no idea. And then from here, the products basically work their way out the shipping door. We scan them again at the shipping, and we also have a take picture. So when I look at an individual product, I can see, you know, what times and dates it was scanned at various stations, when it was done. I can see pictures of it at each step. Hope this gives a little idea of what we're doing.